The most dangerous man in society is not the strongest, not the richest, not the man with the most power. In many cases, he is almost invisible. He lives next door. He works beside you. You pass him every day and never think twice. Because danger does not always come from men who have too much. Sometimes it comes from men who have nothing. Not nothing in their bank account. Nothing in their soul. No purpose. No mission. No reason to believe tomorrow will be different from today. And history reveals something unsettling. When enough men lose their sense of meaning, the consequences never remain personal. They become cultural, political, sometimes even civilizational. So what happens when millions of men stop believing their lives matter? And more importantly, what happens after that? We live in the most comfortable period in human history. Food arrives at our door. Entertainment is endless. Information is available in seconds. We can communicate with almost anyone, anywhere, at any time, by nearly every material measure. Life has become easier. Yet something strange is happening. Depression is rising. Loneliness is rising. Anxiety is rising. And many young men describe a feeling that is difficult to explain. They are not starving. They are not oppressed. They are not being persecuted. They simply feel unnecessary, as if the world would continue exactly the same without them. And maybe that feeling is more dangerous than we realize. Because human beings were never designed to live on comfort alone. Comfort can satisfy the body, but meaning feeds the soul. And when meaning disappears, comfort begins to feel empty. Imagine losing everything. Your family. Your freedom. Your future. Most people assume survival depends on physical strength. But inside Nazi concentration camps during World War II, something unexpected happened. A psychiatrist named Viktor Frankl observed the prisoners around him. Some were stronger. Some were healthier. Yet many of them gave up. Others somehow kept going, even when survival seemed impossible. Frankl noticed a pattern. The men who endured often had something the others lacked. A reason. A purpose. A future they still believed in. A child waiting at home. A dream left unfinished. A responsibility that still mattered. Years later, Frankl reached a conclusion that changed psychology forever. People can endure almost any suffering if they have a reason for it. But when meaning disappears, even comfort can become unbearable. Think about that. Modern society has solved many problems. But perhaps it has forgotten one of the most important human needs. The need to matter. For most of history, a man's purpose was relatively clear. Protect, provide, build, contribute. Life was difficult, but meaning was often obvious. Today, things are different. Technology transformed work. Communities became weaker. Families became smaller. Relationships became more fragile. Many young men spend years drifting. From job to job, apartment to apartment, screen to screen, connected to thousands of people online, belonging to none of them. And that is where the danger begins. Because the human mind hates emptiness. A lack of meaning creates a vacuum. And vacuums never stay empty for long. When healthy purpose disappears, something else moves in. Sometimes addiction, sometimes obsession. Sometimes resentment. Sometimes radical ideologies. People do not just need answers. They need a story, a reason to explain who they are and where they belong. The human mind will often choose a dangerous story over no story at all. Throughout history, charismatic leaders have understood this. They rarely recruit men who already have a strong sense of purpose. They recruit men who are searching for one. The formula is surprisingly simple. Give them an enemy. Give them an explanation. Give them a mission. Suddenly, everything changes. The invisible man feels seen. The powerless man feels powerful. The forgotten man feels important. The lonely man finds a tribe. And that tribe gives him something he may have been missing for years. Meaning. That is why destructive movements can become so attractive. Not because people are evil. But because people are hungry. Hungry for purpose. Hungry for identity. Hungry to believe their life matters. History is filled with examples. Extremist groups. Violent gangs. Dangerous cults. Different faces. Different slogans. The same psychological mechanism. All of them offer belonging. All of them offer certainty. All of them offer meaning. Especially to those who have none. Modern culture often repeats the same message. Follow your passion. Do what feels good. Avoid discomfort. But what if that advice is backwards? Because the most meaningful things in life are rarely comfortable. Raising children is hard. Building a business is hard. Mastering a skill is hard. Taking responsibility is hard. Serving other people is hard. Yet these are often the very things that give life meaning. Not because they feel good, but because they matter. Purpose is not something you find. Purpose is something you build. One responsibility at a time. One commitment at a time. One difficult choice at a time. Meaning does not come from asking, "What do I want from life?" Meaning comes from asking, "What does life need from me?" And that question changes everything. Perhaps the greatest crisis facing modern society is not economic, not technological, not political. It is existential. A crisis of meaning. A crisis of purpose. Because a society that provides comfort without purpose creates a dangerous emptiness. And history has shown, again and again, that emptiness never stays empty. People will always search for meaning. The only question is where they will find it. Will they find it in responsibility? Or resentment? Will they find it in service? Or destruction? Will they build something? Or burn something down? The future may depend on that answer. And maybe it begins with a simple realization. The strongest men are not the men who carry the most power. They are the men willing to carry the most responsibility. Because purpose is not something you discover. It is something you build. Every single day.